Hello, it's Biscuso here and welcome back to my YouTube channel, but also a special welcome to you if you're joining me here for the first time. If you're not yet subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Now, before we get into this video, I do want to put a disclaimer / content warning and say that I will not really be censoring myself because of the fact that I am a small channel, so I'm not monetized, so they can't demonetize this video. But I also do want to put a content warning to say, that today's video is going to be a rather heavy topic, and so if you'd rather click off, I won't take it personally. I mean, will you be messing up my watch time? Yes, but your mental health comes first. And so you can probably tell by the title of today's video, I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but I want to be discussing the issue of K-pop idols and their ignorance and just the messiness that they continually get involved in. Now, while I'm talking, I'm going to be twisting my hair. Like, I did like a flat twist, which is kind of getting old, and so now I'm just gonna do like these regular twists because I'm not going anywhere. So just having my hair loose and then braiding it or twisting it at night seems very redundant. So I'm just like, I just do like a little twist and go through the day. If you're curious, by the way, I'm gonna be using these products. This is the Black Pearl Afro-Botanics Enhanced Hair Juice and the Aunt Jackie's Argan Oil. Those are the products I'll be using. Basically, we're gonna have a little twist and talk about the messiness of these K-pop idols. I'm also gonna be using, this is just plain water because there's already applied product to this hair, but it's being a little dry. So instead of using more product, I'm just gonna add some water. But let's get into the discussion for today. So, as of filming this, there have been two major incidences of another thing. I'm not like, my intention with this is not to throw hate to any group or individual, okay? Calling out problematic things that people have done is not being hateful, okay? It's just questioning and wanting to be accountable is not being hateful, and let's not be messy and have like fan wars. So if there's any inappropriate comments, they will be deleted and you will be blocked from this channel. Another thing I forgot to say in the disclaimer, but back to the issues at hand. So as of filming this, I forgot a mirror. I swear I'm so prepared for this. But as of filming this, right, there have been two major incidents in the K-pop community. The first one being Sowon, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, of Gfriend was seen. I'm sitting on my bed, y'all, so it's hard to be comfortable. But basically, Sowon of Gfriend posted a picture of herself hugging a mannequin wearing Nazi uniform. Right, that's the one incident that recently took place. And then secondly, this morning, Jisung of Stray Kids, I guess a song that he recorded like when he was younger, got, I don't know, did it get leaked, it got exposed or uncovered, but I'm guessing something that was uploaded a long time ago, and then someone like brought it back up where he said some very racist and ableist things. And now I personally, for example, the first incident, Gfriend, I do not know any Gfriend songs. Like, I know that they have a song called Margot, but I've never listened to it. And Stray Kids, I know of Stray Kids because I follow a lot of people on Twitter who are Stray Kids fans. So I often see people talking about the Stray Kids, and I think like Felix, Jisung, and what's the other one? But yeah, I know of Stray Kids, right? I know of them. I know that they had a comeback for a song called Backdoor last year, which apparently did really well. Like, I know of them, but I've never really, I think I did once try to listen to the music, but like, I was actually gonna give their discography another chance. And then just seeing this incident, it turned me off. It really turned me off. It's like, wow. And I have discussed these issues within K-pop in the video I did last year called Unpacking the Messiness of K-pop, which I would recommend, especially if you're like new to K-pop, because I also feel like in that video I do a good introduction into what is K-pop and all of that. But seeing this, it's just like, wow, we really can't get a break. We can't get anything. And literally, I remember with the Gfriend thing, something that upset me, right, is when people were calling out Gfriend, then you had people who were now digging up BTS stuff and saying, oh, but what about BTS? BTS did this. And it upset me not because I'm a BTS fan, right? But it upset me because, like, baby, we're talking about what Gfriend did here, right? If you want to just talk about BTS, we can have that discussion another day. But the thing is, people are being disingenuous and saying that they don't actually care about what BTS did. No. They're just trying to defend their faves. They just want to deflect the attention from their faves. And that's one of the issues I have. Whenever something like this happens, you find that people, in order to defend their faves, will start bringing up other groups past, other groups thing, and it ends up becoming a fan war. There's no longer the issue at hand, but now people are upset with, it's basically no longer, people don't really care about the groups that were affected, the groups that were offended, right? The people, like the individuals, right? The fans who were offended by this. But now it's all about bashing and dragging the group. It's all about which group is more who's more problematic or something like that. And it's mess. I can't even explain it because it's mess. I'm getting so agitated just thinking about it. And so, like, the instance, like, both Gfriend and Jisung have released apologies as I filmed this. The Gfriend apology, that one was the idol, right? Sowon, she didn't release a statement, rather the company Source Music released a statement on her behalf, which that apology. Now, I'm not Jewish, right? So it's not necessarily directed at me, but we can't deny that Hitler did some atrocious things to black people as well. Hitler did atrocious things to queer people as well. And so it's kind of like one of the issues specifically with that incident that came up is people saying, oh, but she didn't know any better, she didn't know this, she didn't know that. And this is a common theme when these idols are being called out, right? Their fans will start saying things like, oh no, you have to understand in Korea, this, Korea, that. Can we have the conversation of how that's actually a xenophobic idea? Look at you think Koreans don't know anything. It's like, are you saying that they're dumb? Like, what are you actually trying to say in defending your faves? Are you saying that they're not educated? Because I cannot believe, right? I refuse to believe, and this is me moving just beyond that Sowon incident, that these Korean companies and their idols just don't know any better. They just don't know. It's like, these are grown folk, these are grown adults, and these incidents are it happens too often for me to simply boil it down to just mere ignorance. I think it's the fact that they don't care. They don't really care, and the apologies only come when there's a negative response. When there's a negative response, when people are upset, that's when the apologies come, And so whether or not you accept the apology, that is all up to you. Like, I believe that it's not my place to police how people feel, regarding these situations. And I wish a lot more people had that response, because you find now, right? Because even with Jisung, right, he personally apologized. He's right, with Gfriend, it was the company, but Jisung, he personally apologized, right? Now you're gonna have people who will now dangle this apology in your face, like, yeah, you can't be mad anymore because look, they apologized. You can't be mad, like, get over it, they apologize. But it's like, no. Just because you accept the apology, right? Because sometimes, right, there is the issue of, for example, with the Jisung situation, right, you'll have like non-black fans, right? People who weren't affected by this, demanding everyone accept the apology. That I think we all recognize how wrong that is. But then you'll get black people who say, but I'm black, excuse me, I'm black, I wasn't offended by this, or I'm black, I've accepted the apology, you should too. But it's like, no, baby, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. I think back to last year when I made my video on Beyonce's Black is King, right? I said I don't see what she did as cultural appropriation, right? But I know that there are many people who do feel that. There are many people who were offended, many people who were upset by how she went about Black is King and the fact that she was making money from it. And just because I feel that way, right, I personally felt like I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna silence people who feel otherwise. I'm not gonna invalidate people who feel otherwise. You get what I mean? And so this Stray Kids situation, I don't even like. I was actually tweeted on my Stan account. I don't know why I'm so upset by it because I don't even listen to Stray Kids, but maybe it's because I was gonna listen to them. Maybe that's why. Because I was like really looking forward to listening to them, especially because I know people who listen to themselves. Maybe looking forward to like talking to them, be like, oh my gosh, I just listened to this song, this, like you know how exciting it is just to share a new interest with people, and it's just. I just wonder, like, when will we get a break? It seems like literally every other day, an idol is being called out for posting like that. Now you see, with this situation, right, I just wonder, like, okay, cool, this happened in the past. Can't these idols and even not even just these celebrities be a little bit more proactive with their, like, I get it on one hand, right? You don't wanna just bring up a random thing you did from the past and be like, hey, by the way, in the past I did this, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. But sometimes it's kind of annoying how each time something happens, we sort of have to like sit and wait on bated breath for an apology. I'm like, you know what? At least here we do get an apology because other companies like SM is notorious for not apologizing. They just ignore, and it's literally if you mad, stay mad. I think back to the Henry situation. So if you don't know who Henry is a member of Wavy, and Wavy, if you watched the first video I uploaded this year, you know that Wavy is one of my favorite groups. Wavy, he's in Wavy and NCT. We're not gonna have that discussion. That's not what we talk about. But basically, what happened was he posted a picture of himself wearing a wig of twists that had like a Rastafarian headband. And what was I forgot what the caption was, right? But obviously, fans were upset by that. And then when a fan confronted him about it in a video call, he said, "Let's skip this discussion." And literally the discussion was skipped and we never went back to it ever again. Like literally, I remember for a while I struggled to listen to Wavy's music just because of just how bothered I was. Like the way, like oh my gosh, if I find the clip I'll insert it. Yeah, let's skip about discussion. It's just the way that he just dismissed that fan like it was nothing. Like just it hurt my feelings. Like, I'm not gonna lie, even now I'm getting emotional just thinking about it because it's just like wow, like what must can happen is the question I always ask myself. Because it's like, how many more apologies, how many more people need to slip up, how many more incidents like this? Because I recognize that I'm a Black person before I'm a K-pop star, right? Like I am not going to compromise my Blackness or my worth and value as a Black person for K-pop. You know what I mean? And so I think about, there's this girl group called Mamamoo. Now Mamamoo, I think I did discuss them in my video unpacking the masons of K-pop. Mamamoo is a group which has been shrouded in so much controversy with, like, so first of all, they've done blackface, straight up blackface, wearing do-rags, and just Hwasa said the N-word in Irreplaceable. If I find all the necessary clips and images, I'll put them up. In the closet, that's my step. Yes, if I bought a nigga, please don't pet. Like that N-word thing shook me because Beyonce doesn't even say the N-word in the original version. So why was she saying the N-word? And it's like, you see, if I'm hearing about all these, especially like if it's like a group that I haven't listened to, right? It just turns me off that I don't think I'll ever give their discography a chance. Like, if I'm hearing about your mess before your work and your craft, then it's like, I don't want to get involved with you like that. And I think that's where I do have to acknowledge that I do have biases. I think as we all do have biases, because when I tell you literally every group that I support or stan has been caught up in some mess. I think the only group, and I'm not even gonna say which one because I don't want to jinx it, is I think it's because they're a group that debuted a year ago. Like yeah, they're a relatively young group, and I'm hoping that they keep their unproblematic streak because I just love them so much. But as I was saying, right, we do have our biases, and so I think that's also why I don't try to like police people, because it's like if I, for one, it one right, for example, if a black person decides to accept the apologies that Mamamoo have given, right, or the Stray Kids apology, or any other group's apologies, right, you accept that apology, and then I come to like, how dare you accept that apology, blah blah blah. People can easily come out, okay, but what about your faves? Your faves, you see, this is how it ends up quickly becoming stan wars. And I remember actually last year, an incident happened where someone who I used to be mutuals with on Twitter, they were in army blink, so they stand BTS and Blackpink, and they were like, they out of nowhere they made a thread saying that they are unstanding BTS because they are racist and da. So they're saying how their friend showed them all the things that BTS has done, and I was like, okay, that's so valid, I understand. And then at the end they said, yeah, but this is why I'm going to continue supporting Blackpink because Blackpink is so much better. And I'm like, why? Why is Blackpink getting dragged into this? We're talking about BTS, and like you see, and this is where I start questioning what is people's motives and intentions. I feel like some people, when they're calling these things out, their intentions aren't the best. It's like, why involving Blackpink? Because now what's gonna happen is people are gonna start bringing up Blackpink stuff, right? And I feel like with Blackpink, most of they haven't done. Okay, there is Lisa's yarn braids and Kill This Love, which girl, a choice. But I feel like with Blackpink, most of their cultural appropriation and insensitivity things have been mostly towards Southeast Asians, right? Like India, like those cultures, they're the ones who have seen, and even though they have done like I mentioned Lisa's braids, and I've also seen like in some music videos where they have like cornrows and stuff, and it's just like sometimes, like honestly, and I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't sound bad. Sometimes I just tell myself I choose just not to care. Not because these issues aren't important, but just to protect my spirit. Just to protect my mental health. Because literally, if I were, I think this is another thing, right? I'm the type of person where if I see mess and I call it out, there's probably a 95% chance that I'm not emotionally invested, in terms of, even if I say, even if it is offensive, I'm not emotionally invested. And so that is just, I think a lot of, if you're just a minority or marginalized community in any way, you understand how sometimes you really just have to put these barriers around your spirit, around your heart, to protect your mental health. And I think with the way K-pop is, right? I think you realize K-pop is more than just music, right? I mean, literally, these idols, they provide so much more than just music. I mean, there's the variety show appearances. I mean, people follow them for, look up to them as role models, and so when they do these things, it hurts you. You know, you do feel some type of way. You feel like it's sort of like a betrayal, if I can even say that. And I think I just always wonder, like, when will it end, right? How much more will we have to put up with, you know? Like, I totally understand why there are many black people who have left K-pop, who no longer support the K-pop community. But I also, you know, I'm someone like, I found a lot of joy and entertainment and just, you know, K-pop has really been a fun space for me. It's really been a fun community as well. You know, the people that I've met online where we discuss K-pop and all that, it's really been a fun time. But it's like, when will it end? When will it end? When will black people be respected? Because without black people, K-pop wouldn't exist. It would not exist. That is literally a straight up fact. Even these K-pop companies and the executives have said, they've admitted that, you know, they made K-pop off of black people's music. Because what is K-pop? If you want to talk about K-pop, right, there is obviously the industry of how it's like, you know, the training system and all of that, but the sound of K-pop is literally just, it basically, you can even say it's appropriation of different cultures, and then they put it together. And so because you've got this hodgepodge, this like huge melting pot of different sounds, then it comes out as being like, oh wow, this is something we've never heard before. But Like when I think of like the K-pop artists I listen to, their music really isn't that different from like the local and even like American artists I listen to, because there is this, it's like there is a sort of familiarity within K-pop, which I think is what really drew me into it once I gave it a chance. Because I'm like, oh, this is, it's like that familiarity. There's also that differenceness. That is not a word, but you get the point I am trying to make. And even I was really shocked to hear, like yesterday, I found out that there's an NCT song called Boss, and one of the writers, who's a black woman, wasn't paid accordingly for that song. Apparently, they only paid her like $66 or something. I haven't really followed up on what happened, what went down with that whole situation. But that is just, you see, it's just, this is why you see that, oh, these people just do not care. They just like I don't even know what I'll say except they do not care. So it's kind of like, why should we? Why should we? If they do not care. And I'm sorry, this video is so all over the place because it's literally just a rant. But I'm also thinking about how a lot of people, right, when these idols do these messes and the idols don't say anything, or an excuse that they like to use is that, oh, but they're on contract, the company made them do this, the company this. And it's like, at some point it's like, yeah, I get it, right? I do understand how there is obviously a power imbalance, right? Obviously, if you are under contract like that, you don't necessarily have the power to speak up. I do understand how, obviously, if you owe these companies money, or this is literally how you're making a living, that it can be hard to just speak up against them. But also, it's kind of like, what are your morals? Like, what do you, like, as a human being, like, at some point, I'm gonna need these idols to grow a bit of a backbone and be decent human beings. That's all we're asking. Be a decent human being. And also, even if, right, let's say these idols do not care, right? They do not care. They just want to continue appropriating black culture in its various forms and other cultures. On being tired of being dragged alone, won't y'all stop? Like, isn't it tiring getting dragged like this? Like, imagine how tired we must be of having to trend hashtags, email companies, and trust me, these companies, they are well aware of what's going on. These companies, they do see these hashtags. They, like someone's even saying how, because usually what fans will do, there'll be like a template of an email, right? They know like everyone, let's mass email. But they said these companies have found a way, if they see that they're getting like a certain template, they're able to filter out that template. And so these companies themselves know what they're doing, right? And even these idols, some of their incidences aren't even, like, it's not even for any work. Like the Henry situation I mentioned earlier, that picture he posted had nothing to do with Wavy, nothing to do with NCT. SM did not say he was. He did that in his free time on his own accord. So the company where. And so I think this brings me on, which I guess will be like my last point because this video is getting quite long. But first of all, I think the stans who go out of their way to defend their faves, for a fact, I don't think they believe half of the things they say. I think they know that their faves are grown adults. They know that their faves know better. But they choose. No, it's like a willful ignorance. They choose to act as if, oh no, my fave do know better. They choose to infantilize and baby these idols as if they're not grown adults. They choose to basically tell blatant lies. Like they basically lie. They basically lie and they gaslight. Like it's so hard to even like have any constructive conversations about this on Twitter because you will get racialed. You will get people trying to dox you. You will get people sending you gore and jump scares. And if they find out what triggers you or what are your fears, they will send those things to you. And it is disgusting. Like y'all are being nasty over some K-pop. Y'all are being nasty over some literally people who are dancing on stage in cute outfits, and like really you are doing all this for someone who doesn't even know you exist. They literally don't know you exist. They don't ask you to do any of this. Like I'm pretty sure that most, because I like to be optimistic, most of these idols would be rather disgusted if they saw the behavior, and they probably do see it, but they'd be disgusted by the behavior of fans doing all these things in their name to defend them. And even when I think about, I'll bring it back to Henry, like, Henry, shame. Henry has a fear, like I guess you could even say it's a phobia of frogs. And in response to his scandal, there were apparently fans who were sending him pictures of frogs, videos of frogs, whatever, and he saw those things. And I'm like, you see, that's where y'all are crossing lines, and this is the way it brings me back to what are your intentions, like what do you really want. Like we're not trying to be terrible people to him. We don't want to send him any hate. We just wanted him to be held accountable. We just wanted him to acknowledge that he was wrong and to apologize, or not only apologize, because I feel like we've gotten so many apologies, but to do better. Okay, so this is how my hair looks when I'm done. Like while I was finishing up, I actually realized I forgot to mention something that also bothered me, so I'm just gonna, like, I don't know, edit this somewhere into the video because I had already finished it. But this thing of fans clearing the searches on Twitter to try and cover up the issue, like with the Jisung thing, right? Yes, like he apologized, right? And I saw people saying, yes, now he's apologized, now's the time to clear the searches. I'm like, baby, no. Yes, he has apologized, right? Yes, we will be looking for him, looking at him to do better, and hopefully he will do better, and Stray Kids does well and all of that. But that doesn't mean you need to cover this up like it never happened, right? Like, yes, it's just that I even think back to what was happening with the Gfriend situation, right? And BTS was being brought up. There was a fan who said that they genuinely didn't know that BTS also had their own like messy history, because whenever that was brought up, they were told, oh no, this isn't real, this is Photoshop. And I feel like, you see, that sort of thing, what it takes away from is people's full autonomy. Right now, if you don't know, I'm a medical student, and so I've had an ethics class, and so I think about how if people don't have all the information at hand, right, they're not able to make a fully they can't give proper, like, I'm trying to make it in the context of this, they can't make a fully informed choice about whether or not they want to support this person, right? Because it's one thing, I think, to support, because like imagine finding out that you're supporting someone who does something that you personally do not agree with. You cannot stand for this because people covered it up. Like I would be mad as hell. I would be so bothered. I'd be so upset. Like, there are times where I'm sure we've had where you're like, oh, if only I knew this had happened earlier, now I would have acted differently, right? And so the fans who are clearing the searches, I think that is just wrong in all situations, right? Because the thing is, it's almost like a cycle, right? Fave gets called out. People calling them out are being silenced. Fans are also working day and night to clear the searches, to cover it up. If an apology statement is being released, this apology statement is then dangled in the faces of anyone. Because the thing is now, right, whenever you try to bring some people are going to say you're a hater. Like, not all of us are haters. I do admit, I do mention that some people do take it too far. Some people do end up being hateful, but I do question those people's intentions. I do think those people are not fighting for justice. They do not represent the majority. It's usually the minority that is the loudest and most toxic, and that is just what I wanted to quickly come in and say. This issue, I could go on and on because there's just so many layers to it, but I feel like I've gotten most of my thoughts and feelings across. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point, I'm gonna finish the rest of my hair off screen. But that being said, if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, let me know what you think, how you feel, and let's talk about it. So yeah, until the next video, I love you so much. Bye guys.